Welcome to our deep dive on perseverance. You wanted to explore this idea through the Bible, and we've got some thought-provoking verses for you. We'll be unpacking their deeper meanings and connecting them to your life today. You might be surprised how much these ancient texts still resonate with the challenges and opportunities we face in the modern world.
Yeah, it's fascinating how relevant these verses remain. We're not just talking about toughing it out, but like a much deeper understanding of perseverance as a catalyst for growth and transformation.
Okay, let's jump right in with Romans 5, 3, and 4. It talks about glorying in our sufferings, which on the surface sounds a little strange.
Yeah, it's definitely counterintuitive. But what Paul's getting at here is this idea of reframing suffering. He's not encouraging us to seek out pain, but rather to recognize its potential, to shape us in positive ways.
So how do we actually glory in suffering? Is it just about putting on a brave face?
Yeah, it's much deeper than that. It's about understanding that challenges can refine us. Like a blacksmith forging a stronger blade in the fire. The source actually compares it to working out. Like the pain of pushing your limits leads to greater strength and endurance.
I like that analogy. It's not about enjoying the pain itself, but recognizing it as part of a process. That ultimately leads to something good. So taking that idea a step further, how does this apply to building character and resilience in our everyday lives?
Well, think about a time when you faced a significant challenge. Maybe it was a personal setback, a professional hurdle, or even a difficult relationship. Those experiences, while painful, likely forced you to dig deep, develop new skills, and discover inner strengths you didn't even know you had.
Does that make sense? It's like we're building up a reservoir of inner strength that we can draw on when future challenges arise. So when we face new difficulties, we can approach them with a sense of, okay, I've been through tough times before, and I came out stronger. I can handle this.
Exactly. And that confidence, that belief in your ability to overcome obstacles, that's where true hope is born. It's a hope rooted not in wishful thinking, but in the proven experience of having navigated difficult terrain before.
This is making me think about those inspirational stories of people who have overcome incredible odds, like athletes who come back from devastating injuries, or entrepreneurs who bounce back from major setbacks. They seem to have this unwavering belief that they can achieve their goals no matter what obstacles they face. Do you think that's what Paul's getting at here?
Absolutely. It's about developing that unshakable inner strength that allows you to persevere even when the going gets tough. It's about recognizing that challenges, while difficult, can ultimately become stepping stones on the path to growth and fulfillment.
So the next time you're facing a challenge, don't just try to grin and bear it. Try to see it through the lens of Romans 5, 3, and 4. Ask yourself, how can I use this experience to become stronger, more resilient, and ultimately more hopeful?
That's a great takeaway. Now let's shift gears to James 1:12, which introduces a different facet of perseverance. This verse talks about facing trials as a test of faith, with the promise of a remarkable reward, the crown of life.
That imagery definitely captures your attention. Can you unpack that a bit more for us? What exactly is this crown, and how does it relate to perseverance?
Well, this crown of life, it isn't a literal crown, of course. It's a metaphor for eternal life, for that deep and lasting joy that comes from a life lived in alignment with God's purpose. So this verse connects perseverance to something bigger than ourselves. It suggests that our ability to endure trials isn't just about personal growth, but also about proving our faithfulness and deepening our relationship with the divine.
So it's about staying the course even when it's difficult, knowing that there's a greater purpose behind our struggles.
Precisely. It's about keeping our eyes on the ultimate goal, the crown of life, which helps us to view our present challenges from an eternal perspective. It's a powerful shift in thinking that can make even the most difficult trials seem more bearable.
It's like running a marathon. They're going to hit those moments where you want to quit, where the pain feels overwhelming. But if you can keep that finish line in sight, if you can remember why you're running in the first place, it gives you the strength to keep going.
That's a great analogy. And James is reminding us that the crown of life is worth every ounce of effort we put into running the race of faith. It's a reward that far outweighs any temporary discomfort or hardship we might experience along the way.
This makes me think about the stories of people who have endured incredible hardship for their beliefs, like those who have been persecuted for their faith, or who have sacrificed everything for a cause they believe in. Their perseverance is truly inspiring. What do you think it is about this idea of an eternal reward that gives people the strength to endure such trials?
I think it's the understanding that their suffering has meaning, that it's not in vain. They see their present struggles as part of a larger story, a story that culminates in a glorious and eternal reward. That hope, that conviction, can sustain them through the darkest of times.
It's a powerful reminder that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond our earthly lives. So the next time you're facing a challenge that seems impossible, remember James 1:12. Ask yourself, how can I view this trial as an opportunity to grow in my faith and draw closer to God?
That's a great way to reframe those difficult moments. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about those times when we're putting in the effort, we're doing the right things, but we're not seeing any immediate results. Galatians 6:9 addresses this feeling of weariness, reminding us to not grow weary in doing good. For in due season, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up.
That's such an encouraging verse, especially when we're feeling discouraged or burnt out. But it also brings up the question of patience, right? How do we stay motivated when we're not seeing the fruits of our labor right away?
That's where the analogy of planting seeds comes in. The source uses this image to illustrate the importance of trusting the process of growth. You plant a seed, you nurture it, but you don't see the full-grown plant right away. It takes time, consistency, and trust that the harvest will eventually come.
So it's about focusing on the actions we're taking today, knowing that they are planting seeds for future growth and success, even if we can't see the results just yet.
Exactly. It's about having faith that our efforts, even the small, seemingly insignificant ones, are contributing to something bigger than ourselves, something that will eventually blossom into something beautiful.
This reminds me of the quote, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today." It highlights that even if we feel like we're starting late, or that our progress is slow, it's never too late to plant those seeds and nurture them with patience and diligence.
I love that quote. It perfectly captures the spirit of Galatians 6:9. It's about consistently doing the right things, even when we're not seeing immediate results, trusting that in due time our efforts will bear fruit.
So if you're feeling discouraged about a project, a relationship, or even a personal goal you're working towards, remember Galatians 6:9. Don't give up on the good work you've started. Keep nurturing those seeds and trust that the harvest will come in its own time.
That's a powerful message of hope and encouragement. Now let's move on to Hebrews 12:1, which paints a vivid picture of life as a race where we're surrounded by a cloud of witnesses cheering us on.
I love the imagery in this verse. It makes the idea of perseverance so much more tangible
Yeah.
and relatable. It's not just about gritting our teeth and pushing through alone. It's about recognizing that we're part of something bigger, that
Yep.
we have a whole community of support surrounding us.
And not just a community in the present, but a community that extends throughout history. This cloud of witnesses includes all those who have gone before us, those who have run their own races of faith, and left behind legacies of courage, resilience, and triumph. They are cheering us on from the sidelines, urging us to keep running our own races with endurance and determination.
It's like having this incredible team of mentors and role models, both past and present, surrounding us, encouraging us to keep going even when we feel like giving up. But this verse also talks about throwing off everything that hinders us. What do you think that refers to?
It's about identifying and releasing anything that weighs us down, anything that prevents us from running our race, with freedom and focus. Could be bad habits, negative thought patterns, limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, or even just unnecessary distractions. Anything that hinders our progress, anything that keeps us from reaching our full potential needs to be thrown off so we can run with more lightness and joy.
It's like that feeling of getting rid of all the unnecessary clutter. In your life, both physically and mentally, you suddenly feel lighter, more energized, and more focused on what truly matters.
Exactly. And that sense of clarity and purpose is essential for perseverance. When we're bogged down by unnecessary burdens, it's much harder to stay motivated and keep moving forward. But when we shed those weights, we free ourselves to run with more passion and purpose.
This is making me think about the importance of surrounding ourselves with positive influences and supportive relationships. If we're surrounded by people who believe in us, who encourage us to be our best selves, it makes it so much easier to persevere through challenges.
Absolutely. The people we choose to spend our time with have a profound impact on our ability to persevere. They can either lift us up and inspire us to reach for our goals, or they can drag us down and make us doubt our abilities. Choosing wisely is crucial for running a successful race.
So take a moment to think about your own cloud of witnesses. Who are the people in your life who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, who believe in your potential even when you doubt yourself? Cultivate those relationships and let them fuel your journey of perseverance.
That's excellent advice. And as we continue to think about the practical side of perseverance, let's turn to Romans 12:12, which offers a powerful toolkit for navigating challenges. This verse encourages us to be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer.
It's like a three-step plan for staying strong in the face of adversity. But I'm curious to hear more about what each of these elements means. In practice, let's start with joyful in hope. What does it mean to cultivate joy even when things are tough?
It's not about denying the reality of your situation or pretending that everything is fine. It's about choosing to focus on the hope that lies ahead, even when the present circumstances are bleak. It's about clinging to the belief that things will eventually get better, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That hope can be a powerful source of joy, even in the midst of suffering.
So it's about finding those glimmers of hope, those small things that remind us that there's still beauty and goodness in the world, even when it feels like everything is falling apart.
Yeah, and it's also about remembering that our current circumstances are temporary. This too shall pass. Holding on to that perspective can help us to maintain a sense of joy, knowing that brighter days are ahead.
That makes sense. It's like finding a reason to smile even when you're feeling down. Sometimes just the act of choosing joy can shift your whole perspective. Now, what about patient in affliction? Does that mean we just sit back and passively endure whatever comes our way?
Not at all. Patience isn't about being passive. It's about having the strength to endure difficult circumstances without losing hope or becoming bitter. It's about trusting the timing of things, knowing that sometimes the greatest growth happens in the waiting.
This reminds me of the saying, patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. It's about finding ways to stay positive and productive, even when things aren't going our way.
That's a great way to put it. Patience isn't just about waiting passively, it's about actively working towards our goals. While trusting that things will unfold in their own time, it's about embracing the journey, even when it's challenging.
And finally, faithful in prayer. How does prayer fit into this toolkit for perseverance?
Prayer is a lifeline, a way to stay connected to our source of strength and guidance. When we're feeling overwhelmed or lost, it's a way to express our gratitude, our fears, our hopes, and our needs. And it's a way to receive comfort, encouragement, and direction.
It's like having a conversation with a trusted friend or mentor, someone who can offer support and wisdom when we need it most.
Exactly. And prayer isn't just about asking for things, it's about cultivating a deeper relationship with God, about aligning our hearts and minds with His will. That connection can be an incredible source of strength and peace, especially when we're facing difficult times.
So if you're struggling to persevere, if you're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, remember Romans 12:12. Choose to find joy in hope, practice patience in affliction, and stay faithful in prayer. These practices can help you to tap into a wellspring of inner strength and resilience that will carry you through even the most challenging seasons of life. Now moving on, let's fast forward to the end of the race, so to speak, with 2 Timothy 4:7. Paul declares, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. What a powerful statement.
There's such a profound sense of accomplishment and fulfillment in his words.
Yeah.
Paul, reflecting on a life filled with challenges and hardships, can confidently say that he stayed the course, remained true to his convictions, and completed the mission entrusted to him. He persevered to the end, and there's a deep sense of peace and satisfaction in knowing that he gave it his all.
It's like he's looking back on his life with no regrets, knowing that he fought the good fight, ran the race with integrity, and never wavered in his faith. That's a legacy we can all aspire to.
Absolutely. And it highlights the fact that perseverance isn't just about achieving external goals or accolades. It's about living a life of purpose and integrity, staying true to our values, and making a positive impact on the world. It's about finishing the race well, regardless of the outcome.
That's a powerful reminder that true success isn't measured by worldly achievements, but by the faithfulness and integrity with which we live our lives. And finally, let's wrap up this deep dive with a message of hope and encouragement from Matthew 17:20. It's the verse about mustard seed faith. The idea that even a small amount of faith, if it's genuine and focused,
Can move mountains.
it's a powerful reminder that we don't need to have superhuman levels of faith or willpower to overcome obstacles. It's the quality of our faith, the trust we place in God, and the unwavering belief in our ability to persevere that make all the difference. So it's about tapping into that inner reservoir of strength, that unshakable belief that we can overcome any challenge, no matter how daunting it may seem.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we are capable of much more than we often give ourselves credit for. And when we combine that inner strength with faith and trust in a power greater than ourselves, we unlock the potential to move mountains in our lives.
As we wrap up our exploration of perseverance, through these biblical verses, I think one question lingers. What mountain are you facing in your own life? What challenge seems insurmountable? What dream feels impossible to achieve? Remember the lessons we've unpacked today. Embrace the idea of glorying in your sufferings. Keep your eyes on the crown of life. And throw off everything that hinders you. Cultivate joy in hope. Practice patience in affliction. And stay faithful in prayer. Most importantly, remember that even a tiny seed of faith, nurtured with perseverance, can grow into something extraordinary.
These verses offer timeless wisdom for navigating the inevitable challenges of life and achieving lasting growth and transformation. By applying these principles, you can not only overcome obstacles, but also emerge from them stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to your purpose.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the power of perseverance. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep moving forward.